Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you are joining us from. My name is Abby LeMay, and I'm the Director of Global Affiliate Initiatives here at the World Federation of Youth Clubs. And today we're going to be talking about the second annual Promise Awards. So if you were a member of the WFYC community last year, the Promise Awards is not something that's new to you, and I hope that you'll apply again. And if you're brand new to the WFYC community, I want to welcome you. I'm also new to the WFYC team, and I'm excited to chat with you today about the 2022 Promise Awards, what's coming this year, what's changed from last year, and answer any and all of your questions. So before we get started today, for those of you who were able to join us live, please make sure your microphone stays silenced during the presentation. Video is optional but encouraged. We love to see your smiling faces. Please enter your questions along the way in the chat. Jacob, our Director of Operations, is also on the line, and he'll be here to help manage those questions. And then at the very end, we'll have an interactive question and answer. So if we don't answer all of your questions along the way, we'll make sure that they're addressed before we sign off today. So today, we're going to take a look at a couple of key things. So first is an overview of the Promise Awards in general. We're going to talk about the timeline for Promise Awards season, everything from applications, which open soon, through the Promise Awards event on September 20th. Then we're going to walk through all of your frequently asked questions. We'll talk about how to actually submit your application, and we'll also talk about tips for success. So we'll answer questions at the end, but before we get started, wanted to ask if anyone has any questions. Feel free to drop those in the chat. I understand that there might be a connection issue for one of our live guests. I'm sorry about that. Is anybody else having a connection issue? I do want to remind everyone who joined us that we are recording. So if your internet connection is not strong enough for this presentation, it will be recorded and available on our website later this week. So we'll still have access to the information. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with just a quick overview of what the Promise Awards are. And they're an annual celebration of youth leaders and youth development programs around the world that are making a big difference in their communities. The Promise Awards celebrate the hard work and tenacity of the WFYC network, and the Promise Awards help to amplify stories of youth development organizations globally. And each year, there are 3 award categories, just like last year. We honor youth, some of the youngest change makers in the world, leadership, so staff, board, and volunteers who work every day to make youth clubs around the world a safe and exciting place to be for young people, and programs. So in programs, we're honoring the innovation and impact of strong youth programs. And the purpose of the Promise Awards is simple. It's to raise the visibility and awareness of youth development work and to celebrate the impact of youth, leaders, and programs who are making a difference in their communities. The Promise Awards highlight the best practices and accomplishments this year in youth development work, and it shares the stories of creativity, courage, resiliency, and promise of the next generation around the world. You might be wondering, what are the actual awards? Last year, our award recipients and honorees received a special video production, some press release support, and a plaque to recognize their contributions. While we're not ready to share exactly what the awards are just yet, I can give you a quick sneak peek at what's coming for the September 20th event. So our awards this year are going to involve storytelling, professional training and support, a video production, a self-care celebration scholarship for our youth and leaders who are honored with the Promise Awards, some professional development opportunities, and of course, Promise Award honorees are featured in the September 20th Promise Awards live virtual event. So for those of you who are wondering what the process is for the next few months, it's pretty simple. Right now, we're in the pre-application season. So we're promoting the Promise Awards. We're getting you ready to submit your application. So questions for the application are actually available now on our website. They have been since the beginning of April. So you can go online to www.wfyc.org and visit our Promise Awards page to download the questions and start preparing your application now so that it's ready to go on May 1st. After the month of May, our Promise Awards Selection Committee comes together, reviews applications, and makes decisions. All Promise Award applicants are notified of their status. Whether or not you're selected as an honoree this year, you'll know in late June or early July what the decision is. And then if you are selected as a Promise Award honoree, then we start event production. And then that takes about 2 months through July and August. It involves video production and a few other important pieces that we're not quite ready to share yet. And then in September, there's the Promise Awards ceremony. And that is a special time where the entire WFYC community is welcome to join us and to celebrate the accomplishments and achievements of those in the WFYC community. For those of you who are like me and like a calendar view of what's coming, I provided that here too. So in April, we're gearing up for applications. In May, applications open and close. So really importantly, we have 1 month from May 1st to May 31st to submit the application on our website, just like last year. In June, the selection committee reviews those applications. In July, we're notifying of decisions. In August and July, we're doing event production. And September 20th, mark your calendars, is the second annual Promise Awards. So let's go over a few of the frequently asked questions about the Promise Awards. So first, have there been any changes to the program last year? If you applied to the Promise Awards last year, you can expect a pretty similar look and feel to the application process that we had last year. The application is housed directly on our Promise Awards page. There's nothing to download. It's a simple form. If you have any trouble with it, you're welcome to reach out to me and I'll provide my contact information at the end of this presentation. What is going to look a little bit different from last year is that the actual event on September 20th is going to have a few different details, and the prizes or awards are a little bit different this year too. Another frequently asked question is, how many awards are there? Well, I can tell you that there are 3 categories: youth, leadership, and programs, and a minimum of 2 awards are going to be granted in each of those categories. But ultimately, the total number of awards is going to depend on 2 things. One is the number and quality of applications that we receive. We might have more awards than just those 6, but it really depends on the applications. And then the other factor that it depends on is what the Promise Awards Selection Committee decides. Who can apply? Any staff member, board member, volunteer, or youth of a WFYC affiliate organization can apply. It's always recommended that if you're submitting a Promise Awards application, that you communicate with your affiliate's leadership, your club's leadership, before you submit the application, unless, of course, you're trying to surprise them. When do I apply? Again, May 1st through May 31st. But the application is available now. So you have from April 19th, today, through May 1st to be preparing your questions so that you are ready to go on May 1st. What you'll need to be prepared to submit is some basic information, your name, your contact information, the name of the youth club for the person or program that you're nominating, and a short narrative about the leader, youth, or program who you believe deserves to be acknowledged in the Promise Awards this year. Another question we receive frequently is, what is the awards process? We talked about that timeline just a couple of minutes ago, but the process goes like this. Applications are received in May. We review those applications as a team with our Promise Awards Selection Committee. That's chaired by our friend David Evangelista, who you may know from the 2022 conference. He was one of our keynote speakers from the Special Olympics. After the selection committee reviews those applications, we'll get in touch with every single applicant of the Promise Awards, and the process goes from there. Can my organization apply for more than one award? Yes, absolutely. All of our affiliate members, no matter how big or how small your youth club is, are making an impact. And if you have an outstanding youth leader and program, by all means, please apply for all 3 awards. One of the big questions we get every year is, what makes a strong application? Well, the strongest applications are clear, complete, and detailed. And those applications also include specific information about the nominee. What I mean by that is the strongest applications say more than, this person does a great job for their community. A strong application tells me why they do a great job in their community. Be specific and provide examples. Provide photos. Tell us what they're doing a really, really great job about. So let's take a minute to review how to apply. So just like last year, if you go to the WFYC website, www.wfyc.org, and you hover your mouse over the Programs and Events section here, and then click on the Promise Awards. It'll take you to a page that looks like this. You'll know you found it because the top banner says Promise Awards. The information underneath the banner changes from time to time, but as long as you see this banner, you're in the right place. On May 1st, but not today, you'll be able to view this application. I know it's a little hard to see on my screen, but I'm going to walk you through it. The beginning part just asks for the name, title, email, and contact information of the person who is submitting the nomination. It asks for the name of the organization. And then here where the red arrow is, it asks you to select the type of award you're applying for. So this is where you'll say if you're applying for a youth award, a leadership award, or a programs award. If you're nominating more than one person or more than one program, you're going to submit more than one application. So one application per nominee. This is the entire application form. It's very simple and doesn't ask for a whole lot of information. There are optional sections where it asks for photos of the nominee, a video URL, and additional documents. That's a place where affiliates can upload additional information that you think will help the selection committee better understand the impact that this person or program is making. We're going to take a quick look at a couple of sample applications. Again, I know this isn't the easiest to see, but it will be very clear on your computer when you apply on May 1st. And you're also going to have access to this presentation after the session today. So up here, you see the contact information for the person who's completing the nomination. And in the blue boxes, you can see that this is a leadership nomination. It asks for information about the person's title, their work location, the length of time a nominee has worked for the organization, some of their work duties, and a few other basic questions. Now, if you're applying for a youth award, the first part of the application looks exactly the same. And there's a different set of questions about the grade level in school, their academic achievements, how long they've been a member at the youth club that they attend, and activities that they're involved with. Finally, just like the youth and leadership applications, we have a separate set of questions for the program nominees. So the same basic contact information up at the top, and then in the blue boxes, we're filling in information specific to the program that you're nominating. So here it asks for the name of the program leader, so your staff or volunteer or board member who manages the program, and a description of the program. A helpful hint for our program applications is to include numbers in this. So tell us how many youth participate in this program every day. What type of impact is this program making in the lives of the youth who participate? A couple of quick application best practices reminder. First, submit your application in the language that you feel most comfortable writing in. That is probably the most important piece of advice and recommendation that the WFYC staff can share with you. We can translate your writing so that we can understand it and share it with the selection committee. But the most important thing is for you to tell your story in your own words and in the language that feels most comfortable for you. Secondly, be detailed and specific in your answers. And remember to complete the entire application. That means if there are optional sections that ask for photos or an other section, this is where you can get creative. If you have a newspaper article that highlights your affiliate or your program, if you have a letter of support from a partner in your community or a school, if you have a video or extra photos or anything else that you think can help WFYC and the Promise Awards Committee better understand the impact that your youth leaders and programs are making. If you want to get a great idea about how to apply and what types of folks that we're looking to honor this year, get familiar with the 2021 Promise Award recipients. We featured 7 amazing individuals and programs who are going above and beyond in their communities. And I encourage you to get to know them, watch their videos, and learn more about the impact that your fellow affiliates and youth clubs are making around the world. So, what questions do you have for our staff today? This is a good opportunity if you have questions or ideas or want to clarify anything. We're happy to answer them. I see that there's a question in the chat that says, can affiliates submit more than one application per category or just one for youth leaders and programs? And that's a great question. Of course, you can submit more than one youth application or more than one leader application or more than one program application. If you've got the people who you think should be featured, please, by all means, submit more than one application per category. I see another question here in the chat. If we submit a video, how long must it be? Thank you for asking that. Videos are optional. So a video can be any length you want it to be, and it can feature anything you want it to be. It could be you just chatting and talking for a couple of minutes or 30 seconds to talk about the youth leader or program that you'd like to feature, or you can submit a video that you've previously recorded that highlights the program or the work that you're doing. It really is up to you to get creative, but there's no video requirement by any means. But of course, videos can be a strong tool to help strengthen your application and tell your story. Feel free to drop any other questions into the chat. We have plenty of time to talk this morning. Okay, if we don't have any other questions right now, our next steps are going to be to submit your application on the WFYC website by 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time on May 31st. I encourage you, if you can submit your application before May 31st, that's always great, but you have right up until just about midnight on the 31st to get that application in. And of course, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can contact me by phone, either with a phone call or a text, or you can reach me through WhatsApp at 407-440-1133, or you can reach me by email anytime at alemay@wfyc.org. Thank you so much for joining us today. I wish you the best of luck in your applications and preparation for the Promise Awards season, and hope to talk with you soon. Thank you.